The whistle split the afternoon air as the Southwest chief pulled into Albuquerque, steel wheels clattering like a steady heartbeat. As much as I photographed trains, I'd never ridden the Amtrak before. We had decided to take a quick weekend trip from Albuquerque to Las Vegas, New Mexico, and stay at the famous La Castenada. We'd stayed there twice before and enjoyed the beautifully restored Fred Harvey Hotel. We entered the depot, where the famous Alvarado once stood, and were met with a surly security guard who briefed us on the boarding process. I wanted to photograph the train arriving, so we passed through the doors to the platform area. Going back into the depot after the train arrived, we stood in the line for coach passengers traveling with a partner. Another drone-like Amtrak person gave us our seat assignments, and it wasn't long before we boarded the train. A few passengers waving at the receding train, the mountains catching the light of midday. Inside the coach, the rhythm settled in, the gentle sway, the faint hum beneath the floor, the soft murmur of voices blending with the metallic song of the rails. We stuck our seat assignment paper above our seats and soon made our way to the lounge car. As the train gathered speed, Albuquerque unfurled behind us, low adobe homes, roadside motels, the sprawl giving way to open desert. The Sangre de Cristo Mountains shimmered faintly to the north. I leaned into the window, tracing the curve of the tracks as they wound through mesas and canyons that looked untouched for centuries. The light shifted constantly, orange to white, white to gold, as if the whole desert breathed in rhythm with the train. I thought of the travelers before me, the cowboys, soldiers, Harvey girls, and drifters who rode these same rails when the Super Chief was the train of the stars. Judy Garland, Clark Gable, and other Hollywood greats once gazed out at these same mesas through their dining cars, which were likely much finer than the cafe car. I'd ridden the Super Chief to Chicago several times growing up, and I remember the formality of dining and the view from the dome car. Somewhere near Lamy, we passed a cluster of weathered buildings, remnants of the old Santa Fe Railway days. That's exciting. As we climbed through Glorieta Pass, the scenery tightened. Pine and juniper replacing sagebrush, the air outside growing thinner and cooler. In the sightseer lounge, we sat with a few other passengers, all strangers drawn together by the glass dome of the car and the hypnotic desert scroll outside. An elderly couple from Kansas talked about how they'd wanted to see the real West. A college student from California sketched the landscape in a small notebook. I just watched, letting the sound of the wheels and the vastness of New Mexico wash over me. Then the land opened again, rolling softly toward the high plains. The sun slanted westward, painting the grasslands amber and rose, and soon the train began to slow. The conductor's voice came over the speaker. "Next stop, Las Vegas, New Mexico. Not the one with the casinos," he added, to the ripple of laughter. The Las Vegas Depot came into view, a handsome brick building with its Mission Revival arches glowing in the afternoon sun. Beyond it stood the Castenada Hotel, once one of the Fred Harvey houses that served travelers along the Atchison, Topeka, and Santa Fe Railway. I stepped down onto the platform and felt the quiet weight of history in the air. Las Vegas, New Mexico was a town that time had bent but not broken. The streets still held their 19th century grace, Victorian facades, wrought iron balconies, and the distant toll of a church bell. I turned back once, watching the Southwest Chief ease away, silver and red against the darkening sky. I thought of the Battle of Glorieta, fought not far from here during the Civil War. For a moment I could imagine soldiers trudging these hills, their blue and gray uniforms blending into the stormy hills. It disappeared into the hills, carrying other travelers towards Kansas or Chicago. The hotel is changing hands, and the restaurant and bar aren't open and won't be until the beginning of the year. That was a good excuse to walk the short distance to Dick's Pub and Restaurant, a little place with a lot of local flavor and some excellent Chipotle salmon. The next morning was brisk, but the walk to Charlie's for breakfast was also excellent. My omelet had ham, cheddar cheese, and green chili, and was as good as I'd had anywhere, with a large pile of hash browns right next to it. Amtrak 3 was on time, and the journey back to Albuquerque was as pleasant as the trip to Las Vegas. There were a number of women who had attended the Fred Harvey weekend events in Las Vegas, and they were fun to listen to as they made their way back to Arizona. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe to the channel.